Hoi there, small fry, it's your old pal Jim Sterling here with Itch.io Tasty, yet another instalment of the series where we plug in a random word into Itch.io's search bar and see what games come up. Now I think this show has so far been too low brow, so we're going to up our game, get a bit intellectual, a bit philosophical, and we're going to search for poop. Yes, poop. We've put poop into Itch.io's search bar to see what games revolving around poop people have done. Let's get cracking, shall we? First up on the menu is Poop with Your Dad Simulator. Now, this is just Shower with Your Dad Simulator. There's been a lot of discussion about Shower with Your Dad Simulator. Is it creepy? Is it unnerving? Is there something disturbing under the surface? Or is it just an innocent fun game about showering with your dad? Innocent school days, jumpers for goalposts, all that sort of thing. Yeah, this game decided to discard any of that discussion and just get straight to the inappropriate. I don't think you can explain away sitting on your dad's lap, for example, while he's naked, taking a shit with what looks like, through the censored blocks, an erect penis, otherwise known as a boner. So this is a little bit alarming, more so than Shower with Your Dad Simulator, with a lot less effort, I've got to say, if I'm being perfectly honest. The graphics are more of the MS Paint variety than the pixely, retro-y look that Shower had. I don't want to directly compare the two too much. Obviously, this is going for a completely different audience than Shower with Your Dad Simulator did, but I've got to say that I find the quality a little bit lacking. They could stand to up their game a little bit. The game modes are reduced. There's just random dad or find your normal dad. You can't choose your own character. The gameplay doesn't seem to vary itself like Shower with Your Dad does. And overall, I've got to say, it's a little bit limp. So I'm going to give this one floppy dad cock out of 3, 5, 10. Shitty Bird is a curious concept, mostly because I can't get it to work. What you can't see in this footage here is me furiously tapping every single key and button at my disposal. The best I can get is just sitting here with a bird that's got question marks over its head, while some sort of living mustachioed peanut walks by with coffee. I'm guessing you've got to make the bird poo on the big peanut bean man thing, but I can't get the bird off the ground. The bird clearly looks confused, and with good reason, because it simply cannot move. It exists in a place of static imprisonment, really. It says a lot about the human condition, I think. It says a lot about us and our feelings, and maybe we all, in our own way, are shitty birds that can't move, desperately wanting to poo in the coffee of a walking bean man. So I'm going to have to give this one 2 shits out of 1 bird, which makes no sense. Poop in Space. Now, this is a game with promise. This is a shoot-'em-up, side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. You are a poo that wants to travel through space, I guess, but its adventures are hampered by all manner of other toiletry-based assassins. You've got a cat in a kitty litter tray. You've got some sort of receptacle for piss. You've got maggots. I don't know exactly what that's got to do with poo. Maybe the creator of this game was trying to tell us something. Maybe they've got an anus full of biting maggots, which would be inconvenient. I wouldn't like it, and I don't think either of you would like it either. I also am quite amused that I just said either of you, as if only 2 people watch this show. I think we get about double that, so that's okay. Anyway, the point is, this is a promising game, but right now it's so visually busy, it caused me great distress to play. It's just an assault on the eyes. The background, the enemies on screen, I mean, they clearly went for a bullet hell thing, but it's a bit more hell than bullet. My eyes still feel a little bit strained from the experience. So I'm going to give this one, let's say, 8 boiled piss out of 18 kettles. I have many, many questions about asshole roids. First of all, who the fuck's that guy? I don't know who that is. It's a man with no hair on his head and a moustache who makes a very strange noise when you shoot him, and he splits asteroid style into other men who seem to be the same man but different photos of the man. He comes in a variety of colours. I don't know if maybe he is some sort of living pog that's come to life. I do like pogs, but I don't get this game. The other question, and perhaps the most important question, is clearly you're playing as an arse, and you're shooting out of your arsehole. You can see the crack of the arse, and it's coming out of it. I'm assuming they're like poo pellets or something. But you move by farting, and you fart out the opposite end. I don't get the physics of it. I don't get how the arse is farting out of the back end of itself and not out of its squeaky little anus. Now, if say it was an arse and it had a gun, because the bullets don't exactly look like poo, so it might not be pooing. But in that case, they could have had the poo come out the other side and the fart come out the crack. But the other way round makes less sense. Narratively, I can't get behind asshole roids, because I don't know why it's not farting out of its anus. So that's very confusing for me and very upsetting. I'm going to have to give this one no farts out of an anus, because it's not farting out of its anus. And this is having a greater psychological impact on me than the beginner's guide did, because I'm now sitting here thinking, is it something wrong with me? Have I been farting wrong all this time? Should it be coming out my mouth? My eyes? I don't know. And I'm going to have to ask myself some deep and serious questions as a result of asshole roids. Splut! This is designed for VR, but it's yet again one of those games that have been designed for VR that make me pleased that I don't have a VR headset, because this would just knock me sick. The game itself, mechanically very simple, but again, promising. You're a bird, a seagull, from looking at the beak and everything. My guess would be a seagull. You flap around eating bread and shitting on things. There's very little interaction on your part. Perhaps people who dislike your Dear Esther's and your Stanley Parables would call this a flapping simulator. I was going to say flying simulator, but that more pertains to planes. But you basically just move the mouse to move the bird around. You go and eat bread to build up your feces, and then you just fly overhead things, and the seagull does the rest. It just poos automatically over things, as long as you're stocking up on bread. Some of the targets are in gold, so you get extra points, and just be careful about crashing into things. Otherwise, it really is just a game of flapping around and shitting on stuff. With very little input from yourself. You really just control the direction of the bird. You do get a poop cam in the corner so that you can see your fecal assault in progress. But otherwise, it's a somewhat unfulfilling experience, yet strangely compelling. I got very little out of it, and yet I did want to play for as long as I could, as long as the game would allow me, until I crashed into a bloke for flying too low. So I'm going to give this one, because I do see potential in it, I'm going to give this one V out of R. Troopers. The final shitty offering on our tour through the world of stinky movements is the Bind of Poop. Now, I'm pretty sure you can tell where they got that name from. You appear to be an MS Paint representation of Dingle, the popular boss from Ed McMillan's and Tyrone Rodriguez's wonderful The Binding of Isaac. Now, The Binding of Isaac is one of my favourite games of all time. I still obsessively play it even today, almost a year after Rebirth came out. Both on the 3DS and the PS4 and PS Vita, and I realise that many people will be angry at me for that because I should be playing it on PC, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Anyway, the point is I'm a massive fan of The Binding of Isaac, and this game isn't The Binding of Isaac. You use the direction keys to move around, and the mouse to shoot, which is kind of confusing because you move the mouse in the direction you want to shoot, but it only shoots in 4 directions, and there's no momentum like you get with Isaac's Tears. So it really is just shooting up, down, left, right, and it's easy to get caught on the I was going to say the scenery, the black squares. I've only gotten as far as what looks to appear to be a big poo boss, but I haven't got any further than that, and to be quite honest with you, I don't care to. It's mechanically dull, and shooting the enemies in these small little rooms is not satisfying. There's very little in the way of audio-visual feedback. It's just kind of dismal. The Bind of Poo is not something I recommend. I'm going to have to give that one our miss of the week, which is a new feature I've decided on, which I'll forget by next week. So that's the Bind of Poop. I don't recommend it. I would just say go get the Binding of Isaac. I might actually play that after I've done putting this video together, because I really like it. So that's what Poop gets ya. If you search on itch.io for Poop, there are other games there, of course, but we only pick out the most interesting ones, or the ones that will run. And yeah, I don't know exactly what we've achieved with our little tour through the world of Poo, but I'm sure we've achieved something, somehow, somewhere, in some way. So until next time, my friends, stay itchy and get tasty.